What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Devin the Bear. So, we're doing things a little different this week. This week will just be me doing an episode. Zach will be doing an episode. It should be released about the same time. We just want to give separate thoughts on what is UFC 291. Also, we've had some scheduling issues, so it's also just easier just to kind of at least give some type of content out. But this isn't a therapy session, so let's get right to it. So, we got the main event. It's Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje 2. Happening for the BMF title. Whether you like the BMF title or not, I personally kind of like it because it kind of adds a certain effect, certain standard that we're gonna watch. With these fights. The first time we saw the BMF title on the line, it was Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal, and it was pretty much that. You had Jorge Masvidal, who was a street fighter coming up, and then he ended up making it big and was able to make money off of what he knew how to do best. Then you had Nate Diaz, who was part of the Nick Diaz army. That's exactly what he did. He was just known for being a bad motherfucker. And so, as we see this fight right here, we have Justin the highlight reel Gaethje taking on, Dustin the Diamond Poirier. I really hate that their names rhyme. So with this fight, we've already seen this fight one time before. But when this fight happened though with Dustin and Justin the first time, we kind of saw, like, at the time, like, Justin really wasn't a fighter. Like, he was a fighter, but he wasn't like a complete mixed martial artist that we know him that we kind of see today. And so with Dustin's from Lafayette, Louisiana. Like, the guy's known to throw down. He brings violence every single time when he comes in there. And so when we first saw this fight, Justin was about the same thing. He just wants a violent night, and I think we saw that when it comes down to it, people play into the Dustin Poirier's game, and that is to just throw down. And Dustin Poirier welcomes that shit. He wants these fights where these guys try to sit there and see who's the bigger dog, and Dustin Poirier is just really, really good at just letting everybody know that, he's not a Louisiana boy that you're going to be able to take down as easy as you think. The first fight we saw as the fight was going on is, Justin was still creating a lot of damage, but Dustin seemed to be more on the offensive side as it was going on later into the rounds up until the finish. And Dustin knew that he had to get that finish in that, I forgot which round exactly it was that it was finished at, but I know it was the opening minute of that last round of that fight. And so I think with Dustin, it's just going to be more of him having to do exactly what he always does, and that's just with his slick boxing. He has this very unorthodox style of boxing though, but he has hands, and we've seen these hands before. I think with how he fights, he just pretty much was able to become like a hood rat, street fighter, and to make that own style into his own. Because people have tried to emulate what he does, and nobody else can really emulate what Dustin Poirier does. He could be champ on any given day. He's just happened every time he's fought for the title, he's just been to the best at that time. With Khabib, and then also with Charles Oliveira. And then going into this fight, though, like, guys have no, besides his losses for the title, though, we've seen him always look as great as he always does. He always has these fights. His last fight with Michael Chandler wouldn't sit there and have this violent fight with him, and then it couldn't find out that he just couldn't keep up with that grit that Dustin has. And so with Justin, though, since the last time they fought, Justin's only lost, I want to say 2 other times to the same exact guys that have beat Dustin Poirier, and that's Khabib Nurmagomedov and Charles Oliveira. But with each loss that we've seen Justin have, though, he's came back better. Nobody else can really do anything to him. He's had some dog fights. His fight against Michael Chandler, which won Fight of the Year, like it should have. His fight against Rafael Fiziev was showing that he's still a top fighter. He's still a top contender in that division. But with Justin, though, with some of the flaws that he's showed, his leg kicks are probably going to be what's going to be able to help him. He did so much damage in the first fight with those, but his leg kicks are going to be such a big factor in this fight as well. Now he's more calculated. He fights cleaner. He fights smarter. He fights better, in my opinion. So I think as that kind of goes on, though, we're going to kind of see that play into a small factor. But if this fight's happening for the BMF title, though, I really don't see exactly what Justin's going to be able to do against Dustin. I think Dustin's still all around the better fighter. But, anything can happen with this fight. These guys are so similar. Like, somebody made a whole list of comparisons that they have. And it's more than just, just their names rhyming. And it's more than just that. It's like the only fights that they've lost are the same exact guys. Both have lost by submission to the same exact guys as well. But I just think Dustin has just some more grit when it comes down to it. Justin's he's pretty much hinted at that he has one more run to the title, and that's going to be it. Dustin, I don't know exactly what they do from here if he wins, But my pick's going by Dustin. I think this time though it's gonna. I mean, I kind of hope it goes all 5 rounds. I don't know if it does, but just to say that this fight was just an all-out fucking war, and it went all 5 rounds, I'd be super happy to see it. But I don't know. You gotta kind of give me a little. You gotta agree with me a little bit on that though. A 5 round war is just I love seeing knockouts. I love seeing submissions. It just finishes in general. But I think when it comes down to it, though, I think no matter how this fight ends, I think Dustin ends on top. I think he might be able to have one more run for the title in him as well. But I don't know what's gonna happen to either guys after they lose. But be sure to let me know what your predictions are. Let me know what your thoughts are as well. So we also have the co-main event. We have Jan Blachowicz taking on Alex Pereira, who's going to be making his light heavyweight debut, which it makes more sense for him to be a light heavyweight anyways. He's a really, really big middleweight. He walks from like 230 pounds. So I think that's going to be an easy cut for him. I was watching the UFC Embedded series, and he's able to actually enjoy food now. And but I'm looking forward to that as well, though. But with this fight, Jan actually has very good kickboxing, and a lot of people really don't give him the credit that he deserves with his kickboxing. And I think that's going to play a small factor into that. It's gonna play a little small factor into that, and if you look back at the Adesanya fight, that's how you can tell right there. Alex Pereira's beaten Adesanya before. I get that, but also how Jan was able to really not give in to any little tricks that Adesanya was trying to set up. He was not letting Adesanya make it his game, and with the power. I mean, even look at the power right now. I think the power is pretty even. I mean, I know we've seen Alex Pereira knock people out with that left hook, but we've also seen Jan do the same exact thing. He broke Luke Rockhold's jaw with that left hook. So, I mean, when it comes down to it, though, I think that fight goes to the decision. Honestly, Jan is a good grappler. It just sucks that the guys that we've seen him have to grapple against are guys like Glover Teixeira, guys like Magomed Ankalaev. Top grapplers in that division, guys who could easily, Glover ended up winning the title for him to show that he's the best in division. Magomed Ankalaev he could easily be champion any day of the week as well. He's a top fighter. He's a complete fighter as well. And but I think Jan takes it by decision though. I don't think that it ends by knockout. If it does, I'll be super excited because I know somebody's gonna get slept. It's gonna be a pretty violent finish as well. And so also we have Stephen Thompson taking on Michelle Pereira. That's going to be an exciting fight all around, no matter what. I think with that fight, it's going to be really back and forth in this. I think it's going to be back and forth in the first round. But I think as the fight goes on, it's going to be Stephen Thompson's fight. Michelle Pereira is fun, but he does a lot of really just wacky shit. That it's fun to watch, yes, and it gets the fans excited. But I think Stephen Thompson gets it done by decision as well, though. I think with Michelle Pereira, his thing is though he doesn't have a very good gas tank. I know he actually went into this fight's gonna be in Salt Lake City. So and the thing last time they were there was the elevation. A lot of people had problems with it. And I think with this one, he said he went up to Salt Lake City a month in advance to prepare for this because he's known for his gas tank issues. And I think that would have been very prevalent in that. But also be on the lookout. Maybe Michelle Pereira probably did something with his gas tank that's going to be able to improve that. But when it comes to the power factor, Michelle Pereira has very sneaky power. He obviously looks like he has a lot of power, but I mean, the way that he's knocked some of these guys out is some brutal shit, And so, but I think with Stephen Thompson, I mean, he's a veteran in the fight game, and he's shown that he still deserves to be in the top 10 every single time he wins. I think with Michelle's style, I think Steven's gonna be able to dictate where the fight goes and exactly where he wants to be. And he's a great point fighter as well, though. And but yeah, I have Stephen Thompson winning that fight. And so another fun fight is gonna be Michael Chiesa taking on Kevin Holland. Michael Chiesa was just his last fight, I believe. Well, actually, the fight before that. He's 0-2 in his last two. He fought Vicente Luque, and then he lost by Darce choke. And he fought Sean Brady and lost that one by decision in a fight I thought that he won. So he's taking on Kevin Holland, who's such a special welterweight because of his size and because of his style. But I know that with Michael Chiesa, he's really, really good, but he's never really been able to show the stand-up that I think that Kevin Holland has. Kevin Holland has a really good stand-up. He's technical when he wants to be. He makes it a backyard brawl whenever he wants it to be. And so Kevin Holland's just his technique is sneaky because you don't really expect something of high level technique whenever you're in the pocket with him, but I mean, him in the pocket is crazy because he's so damn big and he fights in the pocket so well. But I think with this fight though, Michael Chiesa's gonna try to get it to the ground, and Kevin Holland's gonna have really really sneaky jiu-jitsu. He trains under Travis. He started training when he was 18 under Travis Lutter, and I know that he's been. You look at some of his middleweight fights, he got taken to the ground and pretty much got laid on top of by some of these guys because. And he didn't really do much with it, and I think that's a lot of people kind of hold on to that, but Kevin Holland, yeah, he's down in a different weight class, so I think that strength carries over. And so, but I think what's gonna happen is Michael Chiesa is gonna try to make it a grappling match, and Kevin Holland's gonna have. I think he's longer than him. I think he's taller than him, and I think he's gonna be able to really dictate where this fight goes because he's gonna shut down anything Michael Chiesa does. I would like to see Chiesa win just because I've been a fan of him for years now since he fought in the Ultimate Fighter. I don't think he's capable of it though, just because Kevin Holland is. Really, I mean, he should be in the top 10. I don't know how he's not, but he just, but he makes it a fun fight every time. And I just think he has a certain grit that Michael Chiesa doesn't really have. And, it happens as you get older, that kind of goes away. So, yeah, then opening up that main card is also going to be Tony Ferguson and Bobby Green. If this fight was like 5 years ago, I'd be super excited about that. But the reason why I say it like that is just because Tony Ferguson isn't the same fighter at all anymore. Tony Ferguson isn't the same fighter that he used to be, and it was shown in the last fight with him and Nate Diaz. I know that a lot of people were kind of expecting Diaz to win that fight, obviously, because Diaz he's never really looked his age in there. He's never really shown to be battle worn whenever he's in the octagon. But I think with that, I was disappointed in both of them in that past fight. It wasn't a good fight for either one of them. But Bobby Green is, I mean, that guy's same thing though. Like, not really the same thing, but hasn't really shown his age in there yet. Yeah, he's gotten I think his last fight was against Matt Fervol. No, it was against Jared Gordon. So, but Jared Gordon came in there ready, and then I think before that he fought Drew Dober and got knocked out. But with Bobby Green, he's had this style for years. Nobody's ever really been able to stop him from doing it. He fights with his hands down. He makes it fun. I think hopefully this weight cut helps out Tony Ferguson in going down to 155 to really show, because he's a true 155er. Even though he's a big guy and he says he would be at 170, you look at his last opponent was supposed to be Ji Lee and Liang, and I think Leach would have put him, I think he would have retired him if they would have fought. But I have Bobby Green winning this one just because I don't know exactly what Tony Ferguson can do besides try to pressure him. But that's the thing, is Bobby Green's really good at taking pressure and just making it into his fight. He's really good on the back foot. He's really good at counters. And so I'm going Bobby Green. Honestly, man, I think he gets it done by the second round. I really do. I don't see that one going to decision at all. And so I'll be discussing one more fight just on the I think it's not going to be, it was supposed to be the prelim headliner, but they changed it though. So you have Derek Lewis taking on Marco Rogerio de Lima, and so Marco de Lima, he's a pretty small guy for heavyweight, but you see him, he's a stout little dude, and he loves to throw down. Derek Lewis, we haven't really seen him look the same since, man, dude, I think since he fought Tai Tuivasa was really just kind of the downfall of what, he's an older guy now, man. I know that the heavyweight division is the older division, but to be constantly keep fighting these top guys, man, it's not easy. And as it happens as you get older, sometimes your chin kind of withers down a little bit. Sometimes you aren't able to sit there and hang with these guys anymore. But I think this fight's perfect for Derek Lewis to show that, hey, he's still the Black Beast. He's still a badass. He still could easily be a top 10 fighter in the division. I don't think he goes on another title run, but I do think he does beat De Lima pretty decisively. I think it's going to be a little bit of a scrap, though. A scrap that, I mean, it's going to be good for all of us to watch. We don't really see heavyweight scrap like that anymore. But I don't know what's left for Derek Lewis if he does win, though. But I do think he does get it done by this end of the first round. All right. So that's my predictions for the fights. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you... let me know what your thoughts on us doing separate videos if y'all are a fan of this stuff, man. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram. We're going to post our picks on there later this week. Let us know your picks, and be sure to interact with us. Also, Zach has recently created a short film, so we'll be sure to get a link out for y'all so y'all can check that out as well. So I think it's really cool they did that. He is really proud of this project, as he should be. It's it's good to watch. I really enjoyed it. It's something great to watch your friend be able to do, put everything into a project and finish that. So y'all please check that out as well. All right. So thanks everybody, and be sure to check out our Instagram at Devin the Bear, and yeah.